Good evening. It's a genuinely great pleasure for me to be here. I've been here on a number of occasions, and I'm going to drag out the suspense just a little bit by saying just a few words. It is a great night here every year. I've really enjoyed the entertainment, Roddy Hart and the Lonesome Fire. As you said, Libby, a braw-looking bunch with their hats and beards. I just want to say on behalf of the Muslim community, we were doing that first before it was cool. So I enjoyed them, and Ailey Grant with and Neil Sturgeon. He tells me he's no relation, which is fine. But Ailey Grant, as well as the voice of an angel, I think we would all agree, also very brave to stand in the deepest, darkest of South Ayrshire and sing "I Wish I Was in Glasgow." That is a girl after my own heart, being from Glasgow myself. But on a serious note, I was reflecting on the way here that I think one of the worst inventions of recent years is the 24-hour news cycle. BBC News 24, Sky News 24, whatever News 24. It's great to keep you up to date, of course, but I think it would be very easy for all of us, every time we turn on the television, to fall into some kind of spiral of despair, a kind of spiral of doom. All we ever see, and think about the last 12 months and what we've had to see, and forget about those who've had to endure that, but what we've witnessed on our television screen. From bodies being washed up on beaches, escaping conflict, to the Syrian conflict itself, which is entering its 5th year, to a variety of terrorist attacks, be it close to home in Paris, or be it perhaps where Zana's from in Nigeria. It would be easy for us to become depressed at the state of affairs of humanity. But my message is actually the opposite, that I always believe that even out of the most difficult of tragedy, we see the best of the human condition. Out of the darkest clouds, the sun still manages to penetrate. It is at the most tragic of times that I think the kindness and the generosity of the human condition shines through. Whether I saw that myself in Glasgow last year when that refugee crisis was hitting its peak, and that image that is probably seared in the conscience of every single one of us of that young boy, Alan Kurdi, washed up on the beach. Days after that, thousands of people took to George Square to demand that their government, our government, takes refugees, demanding that refugees come into their home. Never in a million years, certainly not in my lifetime, would I have thought I would have seen people gathering to demand that refugees come to their country. Think about after those terror attacks that we saw in Paris not too long ago, the day after, standing with hundreds of people and vigils up and down this country in defiance and in solidarity with those who suffered those atrocities. And then, of course, there's the nominees, who, again, they are not just the best of themselves, but they are the best of all of us. What they have achieved and what they have done, I don't know about you, but watching the video packages made of each of them, it certainly moved me. I can still, just having seen the last one, I still think the hairs on the back of my hand are upstanding. Incredible, whether it's the Indiana Jones of the world of surgery performing miracles while bombs and gunfire is raining around him, whether it's Zana Mustafa, who had a wonderful career as a barrister, didn't have to do what he's doing, but there to help our children, not just for now, but because he wants to see peace in the future as well. And then, of course, Magnus, who isn't here, but I've actually seen his work firsthand in Malawi myself and the difference that has made. And each of these individuals today could have been doing anything with their lives. David, remarkably talented surgeon, evidently, as I've said, Zana, a barrister. Magnus, if you ever come across him, a hugely intelligent and intellectual individual. Could have been doing anything. All three of these guys could have been doing anything in their lives, but they chose not for financial gain, not for recognition, although we will give them that today, but doing it for no other reason than they're compelled by that goodness of the human condition to do good for others. And so despite all the darkness, despite the tragedy, despite the killing, the murder, the warfare, the natural disaster, let us now vow and promise never to fall into a spiral of despair, because that would be the worst. Better to take inspiration from these three individuals and the many individuals that do good work all across the world. So my congratulations to you for that. Burns really, I mean, we've heard Libby talk about it in our opening remarks, was a man who spoke about equality, whether it was to a louse or to a mouse, as you said, Libby, quite rightly. And he had that sentence of egalitarianism that many know that man to man the world over shall brothers be for all that. And I think that is a good sentiment for us to finish on. And I have the best job in the government, the best kept secret actually. I get to travel all around the world selling Scotland. And Scotland is known for many great things. People know it for its golf, for its tourism, for its wonderful scenery, for its cold weather, that monster in the Loch Ness. They know us for all sorts of different things. But if I was to be asked a legacy or what I would want Scotland to be known for above and beyond anything else, then it is that we are the most compassionate country in the world. And all of you, despite whether you're an honorary Scot today, Zana, or whether you're Scot through and through, you, as I say, help us to sell that message. So my thanks to everybody who's helped to make today happen. I've whittled on for long enough.